welcome back, She Engineers, to yet another episode. Of course. I'm always doing the most, bringing you different ladies to share their journeys, their stories, so we could inspire a little more of, people with the potential to be like us. Yeah, to pick up and join the club. It's a good club to be in. Today, I like today's episode because it's tackling something. It has brought us an expert that's tackling something that I feel like is very much not appreciated in Uganda today. Today's episode is going to be nice for even the non-female engineers. So I really recommend that if you're a male and you've just started this video, stick to it through till the end, especially if you're an engineer. Otherwise, you're welcome back. Today with me, we have the one and only Tusingwire, Deborah, who is a petroleum and mineral scientist. That one. In fact, let me let her just introduce herself. Deborah, is a seed.
Well. It's good to be here. My name is Deborah Tusingwire. I am a petroleum and mineral scientist. Though currently I'm running a company called ORESOIL. We do geotechnical investigations and mineral explorations.
Okay.
Yes. In Uganda and across Africa.
Oh,
yes.
That's really nice. How did I come to reach out to Deborah? Deborah has a very interesting LinkedIn. In fact, you can even pause the video here and first go and check out her LinkedIn and then come back after. Deborah has a very interesting LinkedIn where she shares so much about the different geotech investigations she does. So I looked at her profile a lot, and I was looking at it and I'm thinking, but she's more into geology. It's less of engineering. And I'm like, but wait a minute. What is engineering without geotech? I'm beginning to be like the layman, or rather even the other engineers out here that may not be appreciating the importance of these studies.
Yeah.
So I had to tap myself in a moment and be like, no, this girl she's a good candidate to host on She Engineers. So you're very welcome today.
Thank you.
I'm very enthusiastic to have you here.
Thank you.
And I hope that this will go very, well, to inspire a person out there to take on this career. I wish we can inspire very many, by the way. If you're a young girl and you're looking for something to do, and you're in the sciences lane, I am not a geotech specialist, but I'm encouraging you to take on this field because I feel like it's still very virgin in Uganda, and yet it's something very, very important. Otherwise, before I do so much of the talking, I want us to ease into this session with a little bit of an icebreaker.
Okay.
So I'll be giving Deborah some few icebreaking questions so she can, also first warm her seat and be ready to inspire us. So Deborah, could you tell us, if you were told to maybe build and design anything, wild, unrealistic, whatever, what would it be?
Well,
even if it seems impossible.
I think they're not impossible, but
okay.
I would love to work on tunnels. Yeah. Okay. To help solve the issues of traffic and stuff like that. How about we do some underground structures where markets are underground? I've heard people talk about it, that it's there in South Korea.
Okay.
But I think in Uganda it looks impossible. Underground structures would be something I would really want to work on.
Okay. Yeah. I'm picturing a Uganda with a market underground. Or even the ones in the open are not so pleasant. Some of them. You enter the market and you're like, man, this market was built nicely, but something is going wrong now that we've entered the actual market. I'm picturing it underground. That would be wild.
Yeah.
You need to do some training and taming of Ugandan vendors.
Sure.
Okay. Another icebreaking question. If you were to define your career path using a song, which song would it be?
Perfect Love.
What?
By Planet Shakers.
Guys, this girl loves her career. That's all I can say. Because what? Okay, why?
Why? Because why
that song?
Why this song?
To define your career.
This song has can I do a verse?
Yeah. Please, thank you.
It goes, You are at home in my heart. 'Cause you loved me right from the start when I was refusing. Your love kept pursuing. Hey.
Now that I've tasted your love, my heart just can't get enough. Jesus, you have me.
I get
You
it.
have me completely. So if I would describe my career, it has pursued me. That's what I would say. I have pursued it, but it pursued me as well.
It pursued you too. Okay.
This is perfect love.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
I can't believe I sang.
That's actually for me, like the shock I have is the choice of song.
Yeah.
I don't think there's so many people you would ask to use a song to define their career and they pick a song related to that. Personally, when I landed on this random question, I think my song would be Who You Say I Am.
Wow. Who you say I am?
Who you say I am, because I feel like this thing called career can literally, like, you know, I just said it pursued you. It literally pursues you.
Yeah, it does.
You think you're pursuing it, but it will pursue you because you're going to go and pick study something because you're trying to align yourself there. And then this other thing is going to come at you and you're going to be like, but this actually looks a bit better. You get it? So for me, I have gone through a little bit of dynamic changes in my career. Basically, you're flying from.
Yeah.
So I reached a point and I just had to accept. And I'm like, you know what? Who you say I am is who I'm going to be.
Yes.
That means that in this moment, that is who I'm supposed to be. So let me be that. And then, yeah, we wait for the next who you say I am. So for me, that would be the song I would have picked. Yeah. But Perfect Love? Wow. That's a really nice one. Okay, let's get right into it. So, Deborah, you've already told us what you studied, where you're working, what you're doing. It's brilliant that she owns ORESOIL. I always like it in a perspective of potential employers too, because our young generation out here is struggling with unemployment. You guys are potential employers. You're really potential employers for them. So I'd just like you to take us through.
Yeah.
How did you end up picking this particular career path, particularly the course you studied? How did you get to say that this is the course I'm going to do at the university?
Okay. So for me, it started right back in senior 5. You know, like one of those casual days when you're with your friends and they're reading news. I wasn't a reader.
Okay.
And I was a chiller in school. So I see them reading something and I see petroleum engineering. I touched it. I said, I will do this.
Really?
At university. But okay, before that, in my senior 1, senior 2, senior 3, senior 4, senior 4, I loved chemistry. So I kind of got PCM. So I did PCM. And now, as I'm doing PCM, I'm like, I didn't even know what I would do at campus because I don't have like elder brothers I'm looking up to, you know. I said, I will do that. I'll do petroleum engineering at campus. But I didn't know what it is. I don't know where I get it from, but I knew that
That sounded nice and you're like,
yeah, it sounded nice. I'm like, I think it has a lot of chemistry. And I think for me at that time, I just wanted the chemistry bit of it. Anything that has chemistry, even now, the things that I'm doing, as long as it has chemistry, I love it. So I said, perfect. And now we move on and senior 6, we are done. Results are out. Then I call a friend. I'm like, hello, I am going to do, which course are you going to do? She's like, I think I'm going to do accounting because the resources are not, okay, it kind of degraded me. I'm like, yeah. But I thought she was going to, because she did PEM. She would tell me I'm doing civil engineering. So I told her I'm going to do civil engineering. At that time, she told me, civil engineering, you girl, is hard. I said, She said, my brother is doing that thing, but it's hard, man. It's hard.
Man.
I said, really hard. And remember,
I feel guilty.
you're
being those people that tell people, you guys, the course is so hard. While I was there, you guys like cried. Oh my God.
Yeah. So I tell her, it's hard. And you know, at that time, because we have grown up in places where our parents were on us and I'm going to campus, the excitement, I really need to go.
You can't afford to not graduate.
No, I can't afford to not just enjoy life. Because now, be far away from parents, I'm like, I don't have things. I don't were in school. it's going to be the same hard hustle. I need to do something that is chiller. Like, and anyway, for me at that time, I had forgotten about the petroleum. Now I was like, now I need to get someplace far away from Kampala because I didn't want my parents to help me commute.
Oh my God, we relate. We are many.
We are so many. So I told my that now I started my ventures. I had another friend. The other one was a girl. Now this one was a boy. I heard he's going to do land surveying and management. He went to a certain land surveying and management thing. So I'm like, it's more like I wanted someone that I knew at a place I was going to. So I went, looked for placement. It's in Entebbe. But when I reached there, it was like a school, like college. I'm like, this is not campus life. This will not be good for campus. So as I was going back to Kampala, I didn't even know about Kumba University at that time. I see a university, Kumba University. I perceive that's a university. Let me go and check it out because I was looking for placements and stuff like that. So when I go to Kumba, I saw, when I reached the admissions office like this, they pulled out that list of courses. I don't know, I just moved School of Sciences because I had done sciences. As I moved as I was reading through, I saw petroleum and mineral management. At that time, it was petroleum and mineral management. And like, this is what I'm doing. Hello, Daddy. Because I need admission. Okay, that is a language. But I need the 50,000 for admission because I got it. But at that time, I was still contemplating to go to Barra University to do pharmaceutical because I wanted a place far away from home. When I saw petroleum, I said, hey, no, this is the thing I'm going for. So I go for it. My dad sends the money. I immediately get the admission and boom, they gave me the admission. So I start studying, but at that time I told you it was about enjoying university. And some of my alumni that are going to be watching this, they know. I really enjoyed it. I did enjoy university to a point that, but now what is tricky and what is amazing was at that time when I was at university and concluding university, my last final papers, I got saved.
God told you my daughter come back home.
I don't know, but because my mom is a pastor and she used to take me to church. Of course, I knew church, but the Bible was boring for me because I had not gotten someone that really exemplifies the Bible and makes it simpler. So I get saved. I totally changed. What? And remember, I had some rechecks. Now some rechecks I mistook for, because some lecturers threatened, I'm going to give you a retake. So when I went to the notice board and there is this particular that had production technology. So I misinterpreted the two. So the one that the lecturer threatened, I repeated it. Yet the course the retake was in another course. I said, so as I was trying to graduate in 2017, I'm like, but I was done with this thing. How did this come about? Now, there is a certain course unit, actually, geophysics. That course, I dodged it. The first time I had a birthday, I said I'll not do that paper. The second time, it was on my birthday, actually. I said I'll not do it because I have to.
Why is it on my birthday?
Why is it on my birthday? Then I dodged it. I said I'll do because there was a provision of doing more papers in the following semester. So I knew I would balance between those times and then do it. But again, the second time I dodged it because I had no option because I had to graduate and geophysics had to be part of the list. I go do my geophysics. At that time, there was a lecturer, and this lecturer was like, So the guy knows that I'm supposed to be finishing campus, and he gives me a retake. You know, like just because I went back specifically to finish those retakes. I do those two papers, the guy gives me a retake in geophysics. I'm like, I'm supposed to be out of university, please, make this easy for me. The guy refused. They told him, I went to the dean, to the administration, administrative assistant at the university at that time. I went to our head of department. I juggled through different lecturers because I was really now at the point. And remember, this time I'm a Christian. My lifestyle had changed, hairstyle changed. I looked like Holy Mary. I mean, like, I just looked like really different. That even guys used to be like, "Ooh, if that is Deborah, she's different." But if she's a different Deborah, if she's someone else, she looks like her. That's how salvation had really changed me. So I reached a time, and I remember that time they told me, you need to get your paper. I think God was in all this, because I got actually, there was a lot that happened there when I got saved, because now I was more into church. We got certain ministries. They were promising us to work from like in different places, and we even got codes. Those buffet, I even don't know where they are. God help them. So those guys, and that time, I even told my dad, these guys are taking us out of the country. I need a passport. We did everything, passport, admission. They even sent us codes that you're going to work in this country. I even had a code. I even told my cousin, you know what? If you study up to university, I'll buy you all stuff in your... Because I had already calculated my dollars.
Money.
Yeah, the money was really huge. It was too good to be true for an inexperienced person. So you were supposed to pick between, because they were going to build structures, yeah? But they needed secretaries, they needed, like, ministries, these global ministries. They were telling us they are going to do all that. So I kind of tell my lecturer, I thank God for my lecturer. One of my lecturers became my friends and my mentor. I told him, I'm not going to finish university. I'll go make money. Because the end goal is to make money, right?
Not so.
So I'm going to make money, and then I'll come back and do, I'll just do another degree. The guy told me, Deborah, I begged you, finish your dad's, like, this is your dad's money we are talking about. You don't know how it feels like. That man has really looked for money for you to graduate. You don't know how it feels. Even if you're going to pay for yourself, finish what you started. Your dad really counts on this. I thank God for those words, because that's when I started to push. Now, this particular lecturer, the one that gave me a retake, we negotiated. I told him, let me do a coursework. Now, even when he gave me a coursework, the guy told me, I remember he gave me coursework, and he said, and he gave me over 16. Now, 16 plus the 20 over 9 that I had gotten cannot really amount to something. It couldn't amount to something like at least a 48, because there is a rule in university. When you have 48, they can,
top up.
Yeah, they top up. It's a 50 and it's a pass. I tell the guy even went ahead spreading rumor. That girl was a lifeist, she would not make it in life. And the guys were like, but the head of department, may his soul rest in peace, because he died. He said, when I look at you and I hear the story, I'm like, I don't know what's wrong with it. Actually, what did I do to the man? So I actually don't know up to this day. I should cast that guy, because I still have a story to tell about him in this particular episode.
Oh, really?
So the guy tells me, he says, I don't know, but... So I told him, I have a feeling the guy undermarked me. With the way I really started that thing. Let's get the paper. Yeah, I put my effort to really pass. Let's get the paper. They have to remark. I paid for a remark. And I think all lecturers were like, no, we don't have time to remark what. But good thing, God gave me someone who remarked the paper, and we got we got 2 marks from that, and we made 48, and boom. That's how we actually go through geophysics. And anyway, now we come to this current stage. So when I graduated from university at that time, I started doing a number of things. I did tourism. I did a number of things. I did ushering. I did sales for like a marketing executive for some circle. But of course, it was still hustling, and I wasn't feeling it. There was something that wasn't adding up. So I said no. Now, this time around, I remember I now met a certain organization. At that time, I was preaching the gospel. I'm a preacher of the gospel. So I'm preaching the gospel intensely. So I meet a guy, and by that time he was working at Kira Motors Corporation, but he was also a lead engineer. They had started an innovation of making engines. So I told him, at that time my friend had a certain car kiosk she had just bought around that zone. So this guy is like, now for you think you're going to, you've come to sell sodas here. Eh? You've come to sell sodas, because she was trying to sell out all the beers, because the lady who was there initially had beers. So Mulokole, you've come to sell soda. In Uganda, they're not going to buy from you. Here is the bad zone. People are wasted here. People drink here. The lady said, me now, because I knew my friend was a bit timid. I said, no, sir. We're also here for a purpose. At that time, they had preached a certain sermon about purpose. I said, hey, we are not in places for jokes. I told the guy, we are also here for purpose. We are here, we are the light set on a hilltop. We are going to show you that God is going to manifest in this place. Okay, like, because I wanted my friend to gain the energy. I don't know, I just spoke those words and the guy said, this girl is wise. Like, and the guy started looking for me because I used to disappear. I was a static person, like I used to. So I disappeared for some time, for like a month. And every person he would find, those guys, the friends of mine that were from church, they used to go there and support the girl. So he would buy them drinks. Munywe, you know, where is the other wise lady? I said, So every time I would come, the guy would buy me things and it's like, you girl, you're wise. And even me, for me, it was like a platform to preach the gospel, because every time I would really preach to him and I knew I would convert him. So not convert him in a sense that bring him to our church, but like preach the gospel, make it
believe
known.
in God.
So this guy, I didn't know what they were doing at that time. Then he told me, come and see. Because that time the place was a bit ramshackled, and where they used to do their engines had even goats. They used to sleep there. It was a garage. Someone had given it to them. You know, earlier, like the start of innovation is a bit messy. So I told him, oh, this is what you do. Oh, that's good. Now, that time, they got funding. And they changed the whole place. They paved that entire garage. I'm like, good. Now this is it. I'm getting here. I know when I saw it, he said, come and see what we do. I said, this is brilliant. You do this? Wow, this is... Now for me, for the first time, I saw something genius. I'm like, I need to be part of this. This is deep. This was mechanical engineering in a sense. And I wasn't to choose the mechanical, yeah? But I knew that this was it. This was science. This was technology. This is something no ordinary girl in Uganda would go for. I said I'm going for this because I really love rare and hard things. I said I'm going for this. So at that time, we meet in a taxi after some time. It's like, you see, we got a funding and we don't know how to do a quarterly report. I said, no, I can do it. I don't know how to do it. I've never done it before. I'm like, I can do it. Give it to me. So he's like, okay, you will come and redo it. So I did know. So and that time I was thinking about getting some money for rent. So I tell them, yeah, you're going to give me this money for that report. And that time, I think I touched money, because every time I would go there, they give you like 50K. You know, like on a day, like you've eaten, you've drunk, but they're esteeming you like, yeah, I was so mad, you know. I said, yeah, okay, this is it. So let me be here. Let me help these guys. Now, at that time, I even innovated. I said, we need to train. Because I saw how far this thing could go, and I said, we need to start training. Then I started the trainings, like basic stuff, ethics, like, even me, I wasn't that deep, but I said, let's teach this geologically some nice stuff. So I think that's how I entered, and we went for exhibitions in Munyonyo. We went for exhibitions. We have done exhibitions. Actually, we even launched a project, Bingwa. You can check it out. It's 3-in-1 track for mobility, irrigation, and power generation. We did engines. We did like close to let me see, actually 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. We stopped around 16, 15. About seven engines are all made. with their own stuff, yeah. Then at that time, and still in that process, we were dealing with soil, because when you're making an engine, you're dealing with soil. You're working with soil. And one of the chairman at that project used to tell me about soil. He used to tell me that, oh no, this soil is good for potted plants. Yeah. So I still did see where are the minerals, but metrology could show you how they process these things. You molten aluminium. Where does aluminium come from? We are talking about these copper things, all these different things that are making up an engine. And you're like, wait, these are all copper and these metal elements that we studied in chemistry. I picked interest. I'm like, this is good. I think I like it. So we started melting that aluminium to form another product, and we have made sand molds. And the mold, remember that when you're making a mold, you're using clay, you're using sand. I'm like, hey, this is meaning we can test these things. Okay, it was just a series of continuity, like trying to understand what this is really. So in 2000, so I keep around with these guys, but now at that time, when we got a particular funding, they were sent to a certain facility to be incubated by Kira Motors Corporation. So, and I was not on the list because they needed only the technical team. So I stayed back and we used to do meetings. Now that was the time I started my research. Now at that time, I used to be in the choir. I used to sing, worship, praise. But there is a spark in me. In COVID, I had an altar at my place, like a fellowship. We just wanted to understand the Bible. We just wanted to to know, you know. So I brought in my friends and we used to do this, and it kind of shaped and changed the way I was thinking at that time. I said, no, I think I have better things to do. I think there is something different. I started embracing wisdom. And then when the church at that time I was at, okay, and this thing also stepped in. I started feeling like, Deborah, it's time to go. I used to feel, there is a thing that happens to me all the time. When I become frustrated, when a season is about to change. I feel a certain aggression, and I feel like there is something I don't know that I really need to know. I've seen God come through at those particular moments because He pushes me. It's like a provoking thing. It provokes me to say, you know what? I need to go. And that started in me. And as I was still juggling with this place, I had worked with some guys, a charity organization, and I met some amazing people there. Because I also had I had a lot of ideas. I would do a foundation. It was too much. So that's how I joined that charity foundation, because I wanted to know how they run the administration, so that when I'm to run, I know how to do it. But they didn't put me in admin. I was in the children. So it was boring. It's not that children are boring.
It's just that you were not achieving what you had taken.
Yeah, I was a bit bored. Because my brain doesn't love sitting in continuous things every time. And you're doing the same thing over again. I don't like that. So I said, I left them for some time, and I met some wonderful guy. He's a lawyer. And he kept telling me, but Deborah, we kept sitting down for casual talks. He's also a Christian. He told me, but Deborah, I see a lot of potential in you. Cutting me, I was like, what potential do you see? Tell me, yeah. We Christians, we love someone prophesying, but what are you going to do about the prophecy? And he kept telling me, we see potential. And then a friend of mine, now this particular friend of mine is the one that actually helped me see this. Because one day we're seated and it's like, but what do you want to do in the next 10 years? What is something you want to do that you would say, this one I want to do in the next 10 years? What is that? I told him minerals. Because when I was in university, I got interested in the minerals. I went for petroleum, but again, in that process, we did minerals. So I said, minerals. But I didn't know how I'm going to enter, because I knew minerals were it's a capital-intensive industry to enter. I said, but how will I enter that? It's hard. Minerals. Then he says, but he's a landscaper. He says, but why don't you do? Because when we are doing loans, we want to test the soil. can you do that? Tell them, yeah. You know, I love jumping on things.
You feel like I can handle.
Because I can handle that. I can handle long soil, but sure, I'll do that. So he said, maybe you could do some research, and when we get loans that are for testing soil, you come and do it. So I started with soil testing for agriculture. At that time, I didn't have money, but I had a university nearby, Kumba, because I stayed in the same vicinity. I said, let me go and occupy those laboratory, Kumba, the Wi-Fi at Kumba, the lab, the lib, where the computer lab. I said, let me go and be using those ones. So I would find myself going in the morning and sitting at a computer, go with my water. I come when I've eaten. Because you also don't have the money. The money is on budget food. So I'm like, let me go with my water. Then I sit, and sometimes there are lectures. So when guys get out, you rush in to go and do the study. And I think that's where the spark started. I started soil testing for agriculture. I started to analyze, to just do research. What is this soil testing for agriculture? And I used to ask Google, how can I relate minerals and soil? Because even if I loved I was doing this, I still wanted to do the minerals. So I'm like, how do I relate soil? And then I saw that those clay minerals that are, the minerals that are in the clay, those are the ones that were coming in. I'm like, but no. Okay, I kept doing my research, and it was a particular time, because in that process, you don't have money, you don't have what, you're still in the hustle. So I remember I was hungry. That one I'll never forget, and I said I would actually deliberately talk about it here. That was the day I discovered geotechnical investigations by the engineers. I was hungry, but this friend of mine, I noticed his patterns of life. Every time he didn't know something, he said something that it was not about what you don't. It's not about what you don't have right now. It's about what you know. Every time he doesn't know something, he does more research. He finds out. He gets knowledge of that.
Power.
Knowledge is power.
I agree.
That was the first thing I didn't know that. I said, knowledge. Even when you're hungry and you're going through, we have that problem. When you're hungry and you're doing what, you're like, no, for me, I'm not going to, I want food. You start calling your old boyfriends, Hello, how are you? Yeah, by the way, yeah. You start looking for those. Me, I didn't have those options. I didn't have the options for going back to old crap, because now I was born again and I knew God could provide, but now it was about being serious. So that day I was actually on my research, doing my research on soil testing. Boom. I saw something like soil testing for construction. I said, what is that? Now for me that was it. I didn't know, it was geotech. I called a friend. I told him, have you heard about something called soil testing for construction? He said, yeah, Tech Lab does that. What is Tech Lab? But now in my earlier years, my lecturer used to take me in the field, and one of those days we went to Tech Lab and we talked to the business development manager there. She's also an engineer. And when I sat in Tech Lab with my lecturer here, and he was asking questions, do you do these tests on these rocks? He said, no, we do. Oh my God, the other lady, she was talking with that a lot of wisdom. I looked at her, I'm like,
you were hearing things you had never heard.
And for me, I admired her. I'm like, okay, the way she's calm and the way she talks, it's like, wow, I want to be like that lady, man. They're the ones who are doing all these mineral deals, the core drills and what. Hey, that lady, I think she's far. Me, now as we're talking, for me, I was looking at her, I'm like, I want to be like this lady. She's really wise. I think I would love to be known for being wise. So when I see a lady that was talking like her, I was like, I want to be like her. Now when he mentioned Tech Lab, I still didn't click it was Tech Lab we went to. I'm like, hey, they test soil for construction. Hey, I didn't know. He said, no, they even drill cores, what? I started doing the research. Now that time, I was hungry, but knowledge, by the way, knowledge satisfies. You can even kill your hunger. I said, if you hunger, so come take a one. See your hunger.
Let's
Let us
first
first
find out
concentrate.
more.
What is this? Now that's when I started to dig into geotech. And before actually, when I was in church, anyway, it's a linking of a lot of things because it was too much. There is a time God told me, actually, that time, you know, when we were slaying, and then I heard something like, over a new door, like a new opportunity opening up, but I didn't know what opportunity it would be. You know, usually when they say, when you hear such words from God, you'll be like, I think God is saying they're going to give me a new job. No, it wasn't the case. So that time, when this sparked, I said, wait, geotech was the thing you mentioned, God. This is it. I don't know, somehow I felt excited.
felt it,
I'm
yeah.
like, oh, this is not soil testing for agriculture. This is now for construction. This is money, and this is. I smelled like it was nice.
You're like, it's here.
And this is it. So I concentrated and started doing geotech, and I started actually every research. At that time, every research I used to do, I used to post it online. I used to use my online as my research. So a friend of mine, my alumni, called me. One day I was passing his workshop, his place of work, and he told me, "Hey Deborah, nothing you're doing about soil. We are learning a lot. You know, I'm really learning myself. I'm learning. It's really educating us." At that time, I started with Facebook. I'm like, are you sure? You're learning? Okay. I said, don't stop. It's amazing. He said, okay.
So you proceeded.
Then I said, are you sure? Then he said, yeah. And do you know people are not even doing these things? Many of us, we are just here. Because for him, he has a mobile money shop. I said, Then it's in my head, I'm like, oh, I think I'm a future employer. Maybe we are future employers and we are seated here. That's what came in my mind. I said, I'm going to work harder on this thing. I kept every day. I made a decision from 16th March to September 16th, 6 months, that I was going to post every day with or without fail. Whether there was content or not. And guess what? I started with ordinary soil.
Seriously?
Yeah, like simple soil. Like you see soil, you see erosion, you take. Then you do research about it, you post. That's how I started. And my first deal was in Rwanda. Someone calls me after posting soil a lot. People even started calling me the soil face. Said Banag, that is too much. Another lecturer of mine was like, you're doing good. Because I think I enhanced it with videos, and you know people love it when they think they know you. Yeah, so I did videos and I did social media posting. So, and that time, when I started doing that, a client called. He was a surveyor. He said, Deborah, there is some land in Rwanda. There are 6 stories. 6 more? Like I've never done one.
Right.
Okay. I need to do a site visit. Now you're bringing some business perspectives, but you don't know what you're going to do. Now it had to compel me to push and find out who does geotech. That's when I remember Tech Lab. I called Tech Lab. And guess what? The lady I admire, I know she will watch this someday. She picked up. She said, hello, yes. I'm like, oh, hi. I am Deborah. I'm totally new in this field. I don't know anything. But I want you to send me a technical person so that I can learn from you. And maybe if this deal goes through, I just want to be on the side to see what you guys do. I just want to learn. But the deal will be yours. I didn't know how to code. I didn't know anything, nothing. So I said, okay. Then she said, oh, Deborah, okay, I'll send you one of the technical people. What? You know, like someone you really admire. So I'm like, oh, that's good. So she was receptive because she knew that I didn't know. And she was like, okay, it's okay, let's help you. So we went to the site. And for that time, my phone was here recording. I had to go back and do analysis. Like, because he had to talk about the soils, because usually when you go, you need to see the site condition, what are the existing structures around, and what is the client going to put on ground. what is the layout of where are they putting the buildings? Then he'll be like, okay, so I think we can do 3 trial pits or 3 boreholes. He was talking fast. But I think he also became now my friend because I started now getting into the civil engineers this way. Now, when he gets into, I kept inquiring from them. And we did a quotation. A quotation that time, I think we did about 15M. Client said, I will not pay for that. That is too much. I will not pay for that. But I was okay because this is a big company we are talking about, and that was even little because we were doing 3 boreholes and to about over 10 meters, you know. So I said, okay, but I had seen how they quote. But I still didn't know what that meant. I kept doing the research. I kept understanding. Oh, this is how they quote. This is what is this drilling? This rebore. What is that?
What do they do in the
What do they do in the field? Yes. So all the different projects that I kept getting, I kept calling her, and she could do me the quotation. Now you've done like 10 quotations. Honestly, you would be dense not to do your own quotations eventually after that, not to learn, and you're really interested in this. So I venture into that. Now, as I keep doing more content, and for me, you know, it was more like, it's content creation because we need to put it out there. And it was just fun. Like, yeah, I'm in the soils, like I'm doing the rocks. Like, and anyway, how geotech comes in is soil, rocks, minerals are not different from each other. Rocks are made up of minerals. Minerals are made up of chemical elements. And soils are just a breakdown of the rocks. You're seeing the link. Huh? So I'm like, soil is the same thing. We can do that.
We can handle.
So that's how I start the geotechnical journey, geotechnical engineering. And I launched into that space. And I have really majorly focused on really educating the Ugandans and even Africans, because this is not just Uganda that we're talking about. Even Africans, because we have not embraced these things fully.
We really have.
Yes. So that's how I get into the geotech. And now, as we are doing the geotech, we said, no, we need to do the mineral, because now I had now penetrated too. I have met a number of different camp doctors at Makerere, you know? Like, it was just about coming back, reading and doing research and posting content, and yeah, so that's how I get into the geotechnical engineering space.
Okay, the greatest takeaway from what you just shared is that level of exposure doing content about your work can give you.
Yeah.
I had never looked at that. Right now, I'm also learning with our audience. So, posting what you do on a daily on the media.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I'll pocket that one. I'll take it home with me. Then, given your experience, because your experience has really been wholesome, I can say it's like it's almost giving you a full circle moment. I feel like you're yet to get something to make it a full circle moment, but you already make some of us feel like you're experiencing a full circle moment. So, given your experience, what you've gone through, what advice would you give to a girl that is considering getting into engineering? Yeah. Like, would you say run for it? Would you say first do this? What would be your advice for them?
I think this is the remark I would say. Time is the best teller of things.
Okay.
If you saw me 5 years ago, you would not call me here, because I was messed up. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I wanted. I didn't know how to even start. Like, I didn't have a say. I didn't know how to make decisions. But this is what I can say. As long as you've made 18, because I believe someone has made 18 already. Or let me talk to all the different categories.
Groups, yeah.
You are still young, and maybe you're going to see this video, and you'll ask yourself a question, or you'll ask your parents, what is this thing? Yeah? My advice would be, go for whatever you want to go for. Because at the end of the day, you may not do what you even did.
What you even studied.
Yeah, like what you studied. Because you will start, but remember, this is all a chain. It's a value chain. Like everything this is an ecosystem. That's what I can say. whatever you do, it's an ecosystem. It comes back. I was watching football yesterday. Strange. And
Real strange, but okay.
and we were talking with some guy, and the guy is like, "Hey man, do you know every footballer who is there has a medic, something spark." I'm like, wait, meaning if I went into innovation here in Uganda, innovation of doing medicine for these footballers, you can scale. I kept asking myself questions. Like when you start on the journey, things begin to expound, and you see the interlinks. You get to see that, oh, this one is attached to this. Ah, this one is this. Okay, I think I love this more, you know. But if you don't start, you're not going to do it. You will not know anything. So, and I asked myself a question: How does geotech relate with football? Because when you go online, you see the number of people watching football. Many of our clients are on football. Yeah, they're on those platforms. But how do I create content? Now this is content.
Yeah.
To people that are watching football. And guess what? I realize even the stadiums they're playing in, they have to be investigated. How am I getting into that? Because I started. Now, if you're a young person out there, just start. Don't even overthink it. You know, we love overthinking things. And a person who, we are genius. We have a saying with my friends that geniuses, like we in Uganda, we love to be genius. We love to be genius. Like you love to have A's on your paper. No. How could the lecturer
fail?
How do I fail? Like, oh my God, just start. Because there are people doing content creation. And they started. There are people doing photography. There are people selling just soil photography. So for me, it has become a whole eco chain, like value chain that I see. Like even right now, I see potential, a lot of it, because I started. And a young person, don't figure it, don't overthink. Overthinking is bad for business. Hey, now where is it? Because everything has market, by the way. Everything that they're putting on at university has market. Even if it's public admission.
So basically, you just follow what your heart feels like doing.
Do you love it? Do you feel like I can be here? Yes, because I love chemistry, and I went for petroleum. I didn't know I was going to meet minerals. If I only did petroleum, I would not maybe per adventure have interest in minerals. But because I had a course unit in mineralogy and petrology, I said, now this is strange and nice. I love this. Because minerals have a lot of chemical compositions. So to me, what reflects back is the chemistry. So you yourself need to know, what am I interested in? There are some things you really love.
If I want to bring this from a Christian perspective, do you think God would automatically make you love what you should be doing?
Some people, yeah, they love the things they are doing automatically. And for other people like us, we have to really
maneuver.
Yeah, we have to maneuver.
Because now for me, when you were talking about, you're looking at very many things and then you do a particular thing and it catches your attention. I remember pursuing my degree. If you ask me up to today, what did I want to do when I graduate? Highway engineer. That one I was not confused.
Yes.
The two course units that caught my attention were foundation engineering and petroleum engineering.
Wow.
And petroleum engineering was an option.
Yeah.
It was an option. So some people picked something else in place of petroleum. I was just very curious. That's what made me pick it. Like I was like, what's in petroleum engineering? What do they do?
What do they do?
You mean this oil we see coming at petrol stations has some engineering in it? Like,
yeah.
That's what I in fact, at some point thought they were going to teach us how to construct petrol stations. So when I got in, it got more intriguing. You're looking at the policies, you're looking at the different steps taken in production, the exploration,
the refining.
I was so mind blown. And I had a particular friend with whom I had chosen to do that module with. Like, I think we're going to do it. Yeah. I remember telling her, I don't know, but I feel like I might be supposed to be working in petroleum engineering. I feel like this thing is just calling me, yeah? And I remember when I came out of school, the first training I got was with a company that does water. I just felt like I don't belong here. First of all, I wanted highways. My part 2 alternative was petroleum.
Yes.
What am I doing
In water.
For foundation? I had been discouraged perfectly earlier on, so I had released it and moved on with my life. So while I'm there, I see adverts. Tilenga, something, they are training manya young people fresh out of campus, whatnot. And that time, my graduation had delayed a bit because of COVID. I didn't do my second internship in time. So I had not graduated. And then somewhere in that application, they required us to select the highest level of education we've been at. I sat at that computer, I looked, I'm like, me, I write USCE. No way. Why I had the need, I think that training was being done by Total. I had the need for Total to know that this person they are bringing in to train is already a graduate.
Yes.
You get? So it's like I can't enter at the level of USCE because I didn't even have a diploma that I can put like a diploma. I'm like, you know what? I have missed out on my cue of entering into petroleum engineering. I let it go. Didn't release it yet. Like I didn't even feel bad. I had no problem. I remember every time people asked, because it was moving around a lot.
Yeah.
Even in the class groups, people kept asking, have you signed up? Have you what? And I was like, I don't know, guys, but I've not yet graduated. My graduation was as done with school, as now done with an internship, as now doing even a training with another company. I was done. And then I put the USCE. My whole system told me, no, if this is how God planned for you to enter petroleum engineering, we have refused it. I refused. I just released it and moved on with my life.
Yeah.
I decided to realign myself and fit into the company with which I was doing training. But I was just there. And the opportunity for oil and gas literally came
At your door.
I feel like that first spark I got when I sat in the petroleum engineering school. I feel like God was saying something.
It does come back.
Because I didn't try so hard. Even when I tried a bit, I found a block and I was like, oh, please. I released it and child.
Yeah.
And now, every company I've worked with, within the oil and gas realm.
Wow.
Yeah. So sometimes that's why I say, I was like, do you think that you will feel something towards where you're actually supposed to be putting your attention?
Actually, you see what you've talked about, it always comes back. Like when you feel it, maybe it would be a testament, because right now it would not be a testimony. But it's a testimony because now it has come back. It always comes back. That's what young people don't know.
Yeah, I feel like if I had never exactly thought about petroleum, I'd just be like, man, I just found myself here.
You do feel it.
Yeah, you do feel it. You just have to look out for what that thing is. And when you feel it, don't be like some of us, man. Be embrace it.
It's calling you, but
you're like,
no,
that was me.
You don't
a few
even
months
feel
ago, that was really me. I was really facing away from it. And every time they ask me, what do you want to do your further studies in? I'm like, I'm not yet decided. Why? I was still deciding amongst things that were away from the experience I already have. So I'm like, what's your problem? Why don't you just grow your level of expertise in this thing? Because it's what you have. Like, work with what's... That's why today I told you my song would be Who You Say I Am.
Wow.
Yeah. So basically, I think the advice would give would be pay attention to the things that your heart will resonate with. That is what will inform it. So if you think about engineering and feel burdened, my sister, as much as I'm here to empower you to take on this course, right now and here, I'm telling you, no. You get, if you feel some sort of burden every time you think about it, take a break. Because me, I remember when I was so sure, you guys, you do not know. I told my parents, I know I am looking for civil engineering. I had many reasons, including the fact that it's a bit diverse of a course. So it would give me room to try different things and eventually learn what I want. But I felt something good about civil. I would... Newspapers release lists. Oh, you're on the list for Chambogo. Good to know. Is it civil? No. Immediately, the excitement for being on the list would vanish. Like, I just knew that I'm looking for this. Just because your name is appearing on a list is not reason enough for you to do a course. Because there are people who did engineering just because they got the course on government and the course is here. And then it's now time to make a living out
make
of
a
what you
living,
studied,
yes.
and it's just not working for you. It's because you were never, you didn't have the zeal. So
They're even looking at the wrong places.
takes us back to the same thing all the past few engineers were saying, passion. Do you have the passion for what you're going for? Don't do it because these days we empower women. No. Don't do it because we're feminist and they feel like, yeah, we have to do what men can do. That is not the reason. It is actually not reason enough for you to pursue this career. It's really not.
You remember those times in school when they used to tell us, first answer the easy questions, then come back for the hard ones?
So really, yeah. Then I would like us to get into something about something a bit technical, yeah, because we've already appreciated that currently in Uganda, people are not appreciative of the current what they call that thing of geotech. Someone will tell you that, man, me, I've stayed in this my storage structure for the past 30 years, no problem. We don't have problem. And my structure is sitting on a rock. So convincing this kind of person to understand and believe in geotech, because they may understand it but still not believe in it, it's definitely still a challenge in Uganda and Africa at large. So being that you're in this particular field, what do you have to say? What's that takeaway you would want our audience to have that will force everyone, even if it's just a latrine, to be like, you know what? Let me first look for Deborah, and she first does for me a geotech study of this land.
I'll give you a scenario. People usually call us for someone has rock on their land, but they want to know how deep the rock goes or how much rock it is. But usually for quarries. But there is a particular project I worked on in Katosi. It was near the water. Now you could really see that the rock is there, the laterites were there, but when we did the investigation, there is as resistivity investigations, we did the vertical electrical sounding. We noticed that the rocks were hanging down there. So it's possible for you to see some amazing rock up there, but it's a boulder and it's hanging. You get? And many people, because I've done not one investigation, but we've noticed that there are always voids. There are voids in the soils because this is nature. It's not as consistent as you might want it to be. So you might find that it's a huge, gigantic rock up here, but down there, it's just, there are fragments. Yeah? And maybe it's just an intrusion. It cuts through maybe about 3 meters, or it's just 1 meter deep below the surface. Then when someone digs and they see, oh, we have a rock, let's build. But what are you, because what if the following, like, let's say the lithology that is continuing, or the layers of rock and soil that are continuing down, what if it's soft, it's sand, you know? And these are things we don't observe. Now, how do we come in as geotechnical and electrical resistivity and all these methods? These have been proven. They have been proven, especially when we are studying the subsurface. Because remember, you're dealing with something you don't know. Now, the challenge we have is not something we are seeing. Yeah? It's the frequent movements down there that you don't see. Because even right now, there is a shift. You've heard of earthquakes? All those are earth movements. Now you'll ask yourself, how did it move? These are natural occurrences. When we are doing these geophysical methods or surveys for, let's say, for geotech, we are literally trying to ascertain the risk of your investment. Yeah? Just because it hasn't cracked or it hasn't failed doesn't mean because sometimes engineers will do, they have been incorporating this as something light, something light. And some of the engineers come to us and they request for these tests. They want to know what is the strength of this rock, what is, recently some guy called and they are working on a bridge and they realized that there is something eating the foundation, the piles, down in about 10 meters.
What?
But remember, when you're installing these piles, when you're setting this foundation and building pile foundation, you're supposed to do geophysical surveys.
Yeah, you are.
You need to know, are there shear zones? What are we dealing with? You get, now you're getting the picture. The major picture which we are giving people right now is to see the subsurface. Just as you're seeing this, the surface. It's the same way we want to see the subsurface and be able to ascertain and make decisions. Yeah.
What would you have to say about, say, the land we are on right now? Because I'm seeing there are very many successful structures standing comfortably. So me, I now want to put my structure on this land. Is it risky for me to base on the fact that there are neighboring successful structures? So for sure, this one will definitely do the job too. If my neighbor can have a 3-story, I can have a 2-story, definitely. What do you have to say about that?
Well, what I say about that, you still need to do the investigations. You know why? Because the ground movements or the subsurface, like I say, it's natural. It's not consistent. Yeah, unless they did the entire tests on the entire land,
the whole land, and you have the you have the results.
Remember, we are dealing with different designs, different weights.
Yeah, that's true.
Your neighbors could be putting up 1 story, and you are putting up 16 story. Someone is putting up 4-story levels. So it depends on what you're doing.
The other one has a mall. You have a residential.
You have a residential. Then you're putting up things that are maybe you're setting up a factory that is going to generate a lot of vibrations.
Yeah.
This is going to change the movement. So it depends on the particular project that you're working on. For you to actually succeed, you should not, it's more like saying, no, my partner is okay. I think I'm also okay. You know, it doesn't exclude you from testing. You have to test.
Yeah, I understand.
Because we are different people, much as your partners. You know, so what I actually encourage people is you need to know what is, so that you're sure. You're not guessing on assumptions. You get.
Yeah.
It can give you an understanding that
can give
maybe
you an idea.
This area has particular soils. But it does not give us an understanding of what is happening down there.
Especially in relation to the particular structure you're going to put out.
Because you might be on where your land is, could be having water, an aquifer. And just slightly at your neighbors, there was no aquifer. And you didn't test until you assumed.
Until the neighbor's house is standing.
Yours has water, yours is not having. You get, so it's important that you make the right decisions. And now it's in the it's a mandate. If it's 1 story up, you need to have a geotechnical investigation done in places in Kampala. You have even I think it's majorly here in Kampala because KCCA requires that as they're giving you building permits and stuff like that. So I think they really helped us on that one. So you guys can really not just say, we shall do without that. But anyway, you can still proceed with these investigations. There are very many of them. You choose. Now, another reason why we actually love doing these investigations before even coming to geotech, they help us locate where we can put the boreholes. Imagine I come here and I just drill. Yeah? But if I have a geotechnical, a geophysical done, like earth resistivity, I have mapped the entire place. I know that,
so you know, this part is safe to drill.
This part is safe. And we usually recommend that in the reports. You can drill and point this and point this. So, also, it can also give you an adjustment in the design. Because you may be anticipating, let me do the design there, yet you could shift it to the right. So, geophysical, actually it's recommended. It's much recommended, especially when you're putting up like very many stories and you're going to do drilling. Because drilling is really costly. And you can't come to a costly venture like that without knowing without being really sure of what you're doing. We have incorporated the geotechnical investigations, geophysical, in the geotechnical engineering, so that at least you have a glimpse of your land.
Bad eyes view, that's true.
Then you can look for money to really do the right thing. And you're good to go. It's better to think long term than to think short term.
I agree with you very much.
Yes. And for some of these buildings, they may not have even indicated it for you, but there is no building that is done without knowing the weight, like how much
a
weight
soil can hold.
Yes, how much soil really carry this load. That is not there.
It's impossible.
And if your engineer doesn't know that, because they may be doing it, but maybe you're not.
They're not. Yeah, they may not be informing you.
Maybe the other question we would be now thinking about is a standalone business. Geotech being a standalone business. You get it? Maybe that's how it differs a bit. Because now you have to market it as geotech. Not civil engineering, like you're putting up a structure and stuff like that. So I think...
Thank you so much. I think Deborah has been very clear. Because I've always cared to tell people that have you gotten somebody to study the ground on which you're planning to sit this structure. Because of course for me, from my little exposure in engineering, I started realizing that this is actually something important. So what happens when someone wakes up in the morning and they're like, me, I know my mufundi. They can go home. That is my father's land. They begin building for my dad a bungalow. You get it? True, it's a bungalow, but you could be actually going to throw away money if you've not done a geotech study. So bare minimum, always check with your engineer. Even if they try to trade that, it's not relevant, my friend. This is your money. Like the one that's going to actually construct is your money. The engineer is just going to pocket their pay and leave at the end of all this. So they may be encouraging you to proceed because they know that when they add in geotech costs, you probably complain or you won't afford. So they'll tell you it's okay, we can actually do without it. You cannot do without it. Me personally, I don't encourage it. In fact, for the few people I've interacted with, I always care to be like, do a geotech, find out. Make sure the design of the foundation they are giving you is actually befitting of the soil conditions in which you're going to construct. Like, be a bit keen, because people are here complaining about several small things. Oh, my walls have a crack. Oh, my water is always going through my walls. They don't realize that some of these things stem from such issues. So today we've given you a bit of that exposure. Now onto why we come onto She Engineer. We're here to empower. But then again, we're here to show these girls the challenges that we might have faced being in such a male-dominated field and how we maneuver them so they can pick an idea on what to do if these things ever happen to them. The good thing with this section, it also works for us who are already here. Sometimes I'm not yet faced a challenge, but if I talk to Deborah and I now know how she handled it, by the time it comes to me, I have a better approach for it. So could you give us just one challenge that you might have faced?
I think all challenges go back to the knowledge issue. Like, if you know more than a man, then you're a man. Personally, I grew up with my brothers, and my mom doesn't have a garden. So I grew up like literally a boy, because there were no favors. Like, oh, she's a girl, let her take more pocket money, you know. We used to get the same treatment. Everything was the same. And my dad is Mchiga, so you know Mchiga people, they are really straightforward. So he has really tempted us into, there's no pampering, you know. So I've not been pampered. So I think the problems, because I work with men all the time. I do work with men. Men are amazing. Amazing, because we don't talk about, oh my God, did you see my hair? Did it? No. Yeah. It's more like, for them, they don't mind. Oh my hair is how. And like, I would say, working with a woman. Because women, we love focusing on a lot of unnecessary things. But what I would say is, because these are men, and you're a woman, you can't say I'm a man. There are things that still make you a woman. Yeah, there's sometimes, the only challenge I've gotten, especially now, is most of the clients, most of the people I work with are men, and the only challenge I get is how can I call it? Men are a bit assertive. Okay. And you know, for us, we are women, like, if you've given someone a quotation, you don't even want to ask them for the money. You assume they should, because me as a person, me as Deborah, if someone demands me, I don't want them to remind me. Yeah, you just. I have it in my head, so I find it a challenge to really ask for, and you know, men, for them, if you don't they change. Well, I don't know how their wires are really, they are. But if you don't really ask and speak up, you have to speak up. If you're dealing with men, you have to speak up. And they don't take things at heart. Like, oh, I'm hard. No. But the good thing with working with, okay, I just don't know. I have a lot of good things about it. But I think I've not gotten many challenges with men. I make my intentions clear. I've not been harassed because at the end of the day, I'm the project lead. So I'm like your boss.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to really, but that is something I should be thinking about for my future female employees because they may be harassed, but I think it also comes back to the values. Given that I have a Christian background, I try to solve problems. I think the only problem is that, like trying to get something from them. They're a bit straight and the way they do things, it's not this...
You have to get out of your shell.
Yeah, you have to get out
what
of
you're
the-
saying is right.
the
Because
gully
recently
thing.
I was having a heated back and forth with some gentleman. It was a casual hang, but we're having a heated back and forth. And he was saying something along the lines of men were naturally made to make money. Like the money a man gets up and seeks and goes home with, a woman can never do that. And I was in agreement with him on that one. Other things we had fought, but that one I was like, you have a point. Because when you put me in a room and tell me to bargain for something.
If you love it, you just say, let's go for it.
You've understood. Yeah, like my ability to like be like, oh man, you see, if this is the money, you can't. Hey, if you can't, it's okay. I don't have that assertiveness you say.
Yeah.
I genuinely do not. So when you say that, I understand what you're saying. It can be a challenge, and even when you're aware of it, it doesn't mean it automatically just vanishes. But the good thing is, knowledge is power. When you know, you catch yourself in a moment and be like, you're doing that thing again, so do better. Be able to bargain for the right thing and then leave this room. That's a nice thing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing with us. I would like us to call it an episode. I was about to call it a day, but it's not a day. It's an episode. Otherwise, thank you so much for pushing through till the end of this video. Deborah is going to share with us how she would prefer for you guys to reach out to her if you'd like her to be mentored. We like to encourage the ladies that share here to mentor anybody that would reach out to them in case they wish for them to become their mentor. That's one of the things She Engineer aims for. Yeah, we wanted to create a space where it's easy for ladies to get female mentors. I noticed you also speak somewhere that you had a male mentor. Yeah. And then I also personally have a male one, but he has always reminded me to find a female one. Yeah, because it's good to be with someone where most of the things you're resonating. So that's why we encourage it. So you'll share with me. Is it LinkedIn? Is it Facebook? I don't know.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So first you can mentor a girl or two. Otherwise, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe and share, especially if you enjoyed it and learned something or two from it. See you guys in our next episode. Thank you.